So in this one, we're given a little different information than the last one. Here we have our foci, which keep in mind foci will relate to our C value, and the length of our major axis, and that will relate to our A value. So first, like I said before, you want to graph it. So if our foci are at 3, 0 and negative 3, 0, this tells us two things. One, we know our center will be halfway between those foci. So halfway between those will be 0, 0. So right away we know our center is at 0, 0. The other piece we know is that C is going to be the distance from the center to the foci. So we know C is going to be 3. And we can use that to help find A or B, whichever piece we need. Also, the foci being horizontal like that tells us this is going to be a horizontal ellipse. So now, our major axis. Since the length of the major axis is 12, what that tells us is 2 times A is 12. Remember, the major axis is the distance between the vertices. So solve that really quick. Divide by 2. And now we know our A value is 6. Well, remember for A, that tells you how far it is to go out to the vertices. So visually, we now know our vertices are at 6, 0 and negative 6, 0. So now the last piece we need is B, because we need to know how far up and down this ellipse will go. So here's where we just need to use that equation. We know A squared minus B squared equals C squared. So 36 minus B squared equals 9. Go ahead and subtract your 36 over. Negative B squared equals negative 27. Cancel out the negatives. So B squared is 27. Take a square root. And we know B is root 27, which for the sake of our picture is approximately 5.2. So we can count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a little bit above, a little bit below. Not the best drawing, but there's our ellipse. So now, the whole end goal to this was to write an equation. So we know our center is at 0, 0, so right away we know we're just going to have an x squared and a y squared. We know we're dealing with fractions. We know there's a plus in the middle. We know it equals 1. And those are just all because it's an ellipse. So now we know, now we need our a squared and our b squared. A was 6, which means a squared is 36. B was root 27, which means b squared is 27. Last piece, since this is a horizontal ellipse, that means the bigger number, a squared, needs to go with the x value. So 36 is going to go under x. 27 will go under y. And there's our equation.